Thank you, Juan. His introduction was very impressive. He had an English script. He translated it simultaneously into Spanish, and he did Spanish and English. So, congratulations. Job well done. I am pleased to be here tonight to talk about the importance of creative work at research institutions, primarily universities. What I have in my bag here, I will show you, and it is part of my discussion. I live here. This is where Mickey Mouse lives. And this is Miami. Just for your information. I'm going to show you a number of common products, and then I will ask you the question, what do they all have in common? How many people in the room are familiar with this product? Raise your hand. This one? This one? This one? Milk? Everybody? Milk? Of course. This is vitamin-enriched milk. Typical milk. How many are familiar with this anti-cancer drug Taxol? I hope none of you ever see this bottle up close. This is a drug against cancers. This one? It's a baby food. I was raised on this. Hamlet. A certain type of necktie. Okay? And similarly, the artwork in the necktie for a drink coaster and a woman's scarf. What do these products have in common? Any guess?
Chemistry.
Okay. Chemistry. Another guess? Okay. Every single one of these very common products is based on intellectual property created at a university and commercialized by a company. Okay? The impact of academic technology transfer are these products and others. Yesterday, how many people are familiar with the trade association BIO? Okay. BIO is a large trade association of biotechnology companies. It's a trade association in America. Their annual meeting is this week. Yesterday, they released a press release, a study. It was entitled, "The Impact of Academic Technology Transfer Based on Academic Biotechnology." A study was done and published, it's available. It said over the last 15 years, academic technology transfer has led to products and product development and created 15 million person years of employment. 15 million people employed over the last 15 years based on the commercialization of academic biotechnology in America, only in America. In addition, they went on and said that the sales of the products licensed from the universities to biotechnology companies, the sales were $350 billion over the 15 years. And in addition, the economic impact was $850 billion. So, in this industry of biotechnology, where a lot of academic technology transfer happens to startup companies. Okay, how many people know the company Genentech? Genentech was a spin-off company from the University of California almost 40 years ago. How many know Google? Google was a spin-off from Stanford University. So there are tremendous impact that you can see every single day because of this type of activity, because faculty on campuses do incredibly interesting things, and the university, particularly in the United Kingdom, Japan, Canada, and the United States, have technology transfer offices. Here in Chile, the tech transfer offices have started in the last 3 years and are now accelerating activities. So, our professional association, Autumn, publishes a book with at least 100 stories of products in the marketplace based on creative work at a research institution, primarily universities. The stories come from India, Sweden, Britain, Japan, Australia, Canada, the United States, Mexico. I would really, really like to see some stories from Chile. This was a personal project of mine. The book is printed with 125 stories every single year. So, what is this association, AUTM? It's a professional association, brings together academic technology transfer professionals from more than 30 countries. There are members here in Chile, there are members in Brazil, there are members in Colombia, there are members in Japan and elsewhere. Most of the members are employed at academic offices. A third are corporations interested in finding academic research to commercialize. 80% of the members live in the States, roughly now 10% are Canadian, and this is the fastest growing number, about 12-13% now. We had in San Francisco and California an annual meeting recently. We had over 2,000 attendees from around the globe. This is the organization of professionals for academic licensing. So, the title of my talk is Commercialization and Impact. What is this activity? It is the process by which an invention or an idea moves from a campus to a company who takes the risk to develop a product that benefits people. This is a product that benefits people. This is a product, Taxol, that saves lives. This is a product that improves the quality of life when I wear it, according to my wife. In addition, these products help corporations become globally more competitive and increase the impact on the economy. So, that is the process. I'll explain in more detail the process. Here in Chile, Rich Chilla, who is here with me from the United States, raise your hand, please. We are experts retained by Corfo to work with the research institutions in Chile. We've been here this week. The Chilean universities are currently very active here, helping faculty find money to do research, both basic and applied. Also, the process of academic technology transfer is work is done in a laboratory that leads to an idea. The idea is disclosed in writing. It's an invention disclosure. The Office of Technology Transfer then seeks to protect the intellectual property for the faculty member and the institution by patent or copyright, perhaps trademarks. The Technology Transfer Office then takes the idea and looks for a company who is interested in turning the research into a product that will benefit people. It's a very, very difficult process. I am a Canadian. My country is very much like Chile. A small population, now about 30 million. The population is very close to the American border, not very dense across the country. The economy is resource-driven. And like Chile, in Canada, people really want to diversify into technology-driven, knowledge-driven companies. Why? Because the impact is greater, the chance to create wealth is greater, the impact on the global economy is greater. So, this is more of the process finding a company who will take the ideas. The companies can be very large companies, like Bristol-Myers Squibb. The companies can be mid-sized companies. This was a company formed in Florida 15 years ago. They now have 300 employees. This is a company that has 2 employees. It was spun out of a university in Florida. So the Tech Transfer Office looks for the faculty member, the Tech Transfer Office looks for the companies, transfers the legal rights via a license to the companies, who then undertake the high risk of developing products or services. A product like a drug or a service like a Google. Cisco Systems. People know Cisco Systems? It's spun out of Stanford. They offer both products and hardware. This continues all the time. There are examples like this out of Japan and the United Kingdom and many countries. And examples are beginning to emerge here in Chile. People are familiar with TikTok. I heard a presentation yesterday where there were, I think, 6 or 8 companies spun out of TikTok over a period of time. This activity is emerging here. It is now starting. So, the companies do this. It creates jobs. Hopefully, it creates profits and tax revenue. And part of the license deal is that a small part of this will come back to the university to be recycled back into the research to do more. Why is this good? Students and graduate students at the university who are engaged in this, it enhances the quality and the experience. Occasionally, there's a massive license with a huge cash flow. More often, this process fails. The companies take the risk. Nobody wants to buy the product. It's too late, it's the wrong specifications, it just doesn't work. So it's very, very high risk. Why would a university be engaged in this type of activity? Why would a Chilean university be engaged in this activity? Well, it's based on the fact that universities have a social contract with society. The deal of the social contract is that in return for public funding, the universities will educate the next generation, create new knowledge, and perform community service, clinical studies, and hospitals or economic development. This is the deal. The universities are not-for-profit organizations that take money from taxes, the public, and perform a service of benefit to the entire community and the economy. This type of activity is a relatively new activity within this contract. Increasingly in Florida, the legislatures are very worried about jobs and job creation. So they've come to the universities and said, we want the universities more engaged in the economy. The universities have said, that's not our job. We must focus on our core mission of education, research, and community service. But together, the universities and the politicians realize we have a major economic problem. We must work together. And so increasingly, additional money is coming from the public to help with this activity, even though everyone recognizes it's very high risk. Given the social contract, let's go down in more detail. This is the mission statement of a modern academic technology transfer office. The mission of the office is not to make money. It is to enhance the reputation of the institution. That's the core purpose of the Technology Transfer Office. How does it do it? It helps improve the reputation by helping the institution achieve its own goals of education, research, and community service in a particular way. Particularly by facilitating research collaborations and partnerships with the private sector to the long-term benefit of everybody, society, the university, and the corporate community. Let me be a little bit more specific, even more. This is a study done by Autumn for 16 years. This is American data. Over the 16 years, industry and the federal government invested a huge amount of money in research at 150 universities. The ideas that were disclosed in writing, it was approximately 194,000. The Technology Transfer Office reviewed them and decided to seek patent support for half of the ideas. Now, over the 16 years, the university paid for the patents. A United States patent costs $15,000 US. So, quickly, anybody, 97,000 times 15,000 is how much? It's almost $1.5 billion. The universities invested in patents of the creative work. The universities did not use student tuition money to do this. They did not use money provided by the state to finance the faculty. This was money paid from overhead on the grants that financed the basic research. So, very specific monies reinvested by the university in its own research. The United States Patent Office issued 42,000. The success rate's 43%. Okay? 60% of the $1.5 billion went nowhere. The patent did not issue. This is a very high-risk business. Of the 42,000 that did, our community licensed 35,000 companies. Each of these is a license between one university and one company. A relationship, a collaborative relationship to attempt to produce a product. This is approximately 18% of all the disclosures. And of these, startup companies were created. Approximately now, there are 7,000 in America over the past 16 years. That's 3% of the disclosures. These are small numbers. But the numbers include companies like Genentech and Cisco and Google. So, this, I gave a talk in Delhi several years ago. I explained that a major characteristic of the American academic technology process was failure. Most of the ideas went nowhere. Small number of active licenses. And then someone said to me, okay, how much money are paid in licenses? What are the royalties per year? At Stanford University, in the middle of the Silicon Valley, 70% of their licenses, 70% of the licenses, returned to Stanford only the cost of the patent, $15,000. 5,000, roughly 15,000 pay royalties, and of that, 150, which is less than 1%, pay $1 million or more in a particular year. I took this slide into an MBA class who was interested in business models. I said, here's the business case. What do you think? They burst out laughing. He said, it's ridiculous. Huge high risk. You have no control. Nothing. You invest a lot of money and the return is incredibly modest. What's the point, they said. The point is the type of experience that occurs for people engaged in this. If Catholica over the next decade creates a product that is well known, and the product is associated with the university, you could well imagine the pride of the university community. It may not return much in terms of dollars. It might not. But the reputation of the institution globally will be greatly enhanced because of a possible success. This is worth doing. It's worth doing in